On June 30th, 1864, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Yosemite Grant Act. This legislation gave the state of California the Yosemite Valley and the nearby Mariposa Big Tree Grove upon the express conditions that the premises shall be held for public use, resort, and recreation. This is the origins of what we know today as California State Parks, and why since 1864 is on our logo and on our patch. This landmark legislation comes just 88 years after our nation's founding, and while Yosemite has been a national park for quite some time, today there are over 280 state parks in our state park system. In honor of America's 250th anniversary, you can sign up now until July 6th and get your free California State Parks Historian Passport and visit over 30 state historic parks for free for the rest of 2026. This includes sites that were originally established at the same time as our nation in its infancy, like El Presidio de Santa Barbara and La Purísima Mission State Historic Park that were originally established by Spain, and you can learn at those sites about the colonial impacts of the Spanish mission system. You can learn about the Mexican Rancho period at Monterey State Historic Park, in San Juan Bautista State Historic Park, in Petaluma Adobe State Historic Park. You can learn about sites of colonization and the impacts of settler colonialism at sites like Fort Ross, Fort Tejon, and where I am at here at Sutter's Fort State Historic Park. I can connect this site, Sutter's Fort, to so many other state historic parks that you can visit with this pass, like Fort Ross that John Sutter purchased in 1841. Brought a lot of those supplies from Fort Ross to build Sutter's Fort here. Monterey State Historic Park, where John Sutter arrived in July 1839 and got permission from the Mexican government to live in the interior of California. You have Sonoma State Historic Park, which was the site of the Bear Flag Revolt in June 1846. Speaking of that revolt, you have William B. Ide, proclaimed himself president of the short-lived republic, and you can learn more about him at William B. Ide State Historic Park, and the site of the only battle of the Bear Flag Revolt, which is at Olompali State Historic Park. Of course, you have Marshall Gold Discovery State Historic Park, where James Marshall found gold at Sutter's Mill on January 24th, 1848. He brings it here to Sutter's office at Sutter's Fort 4 days later, and this will lead to the California Gold Rush. Speaking of the Gold Rush, you can learn more about the real environmental destructive impacts at sites like Malakoff Diggins State Historic Park, where that's the remains from hydraulic mining. You have Empire Mine State Historic Park, in Bodie State Historic Park, which is a ghost town. And you have the California Mining and Mineral Museum. You have sites that highlight the true diversity of California at Colonel Allensworth State Historic Park and Weaverville Joss House State Historic Park. You have sites that highlight Native culture and history that has been here and is still here since time immemorial, like Antelope Valley Indian Museum, Indian Grinding Rock State Historic Park, and the State Indian Museum here in Sacramento. So what are you waiting for? Go to parks.ca.gov and sign up for the free Historian Passport by July 6th and visit the sites that I mentioned and more for the rest of 2026. Thank you for supporting California State Parks. Happy America 250th.